So Good Friday evening or Monday. It's Monday. I'm sorry. So this lesson is really going to be kind of theory based. It's really for like beginners and people that don't understand alternate tunings. Okay. So this guitar right here, it's my ESP Gus G 2010 NT2. So check it out. These pickups are so hot that I have to turn my input signal down on my Axe effects to like 15%. So they're like very hot. So with that being said, because it has a mid-gain boost built into the volume, what I'm trying to get to is this is tuned to D standard, right? That's a given. Now, when I want to talk about the alternate tunings, is because if you take your E string that. So what I just did was, I believe this E, A, D, so C, D. This is so, okay, if it wasn't tuned down a full step to D standard, I'd say D, right? It would be drop D. You drop the high E string to the same pitch as the D, E, A, D. So, but this is drop C because our E is now a D, and our A is now a G, if G, A, and then our D is actually the C. So now this is called drop C. You get that? How? Where this is important is, especially with the new metal, like all the doom metal and all that stuff, most guys that are my age, we play in standard tuning, maybe half a step down, right? Maybe drop D, right? But this is more for like the death metal, right? So, with that said, I just kind of wanted to explain to you that is an alternate tuning. And so, another thing that's good about having a hardtail is I can tune this thing to E standard, and maybe adjust the saddles back here for intonation if it's out really bad. But usually, it's set up for D right now. But I haven't been playing it very much since I've been playing my Jackson, which is set up for, both of them are set up for just E standard. But like I said, I wanted to kind of bring this to your attention, right? That way, if you see someone playing a song and they're not playing your typical, see how that sounds bad? So it sounds bad because you have the E string dropped to a D or a C. So then, because you're tuning it to basically the D string, right? So the reason why they do this mostly is because it's easier to, like if you're in a metal band and you're like straight doom metal, it's easier to do this. thing about when you start doing tunings like that, you have to look at the pattern on your top E string, right? It's not that pattern anymore. Okay? It's gonna change to the pattern on the C, on your third, EAD, right? So EAD, and then you got A, B, C. So this C shape, which is like 4, 5, 7. Because if you play this, that doesn't sound right. It's too bright. So when you're alternate tuning stuff, you gotta think about all that, right? Like, I'm not really big into it, but like I said, if you're going, you can always do this too. Because you're eliminating basically the top string, right? You're eliminating the C string. Well, it's actually D, but we have it tuned down, right? So you can get away with your power chords in this shape. With the root on your A string, alright? I'm just going to call them E, A, and then you can figure it out what I'm doing, because it'll get too confusing if I say, oh, the D. So this is our E, A, D, right? We know that it's tuned a little bit different. These two are the same, the E, A, and the D. The D and the E are tuned exactly the same. So that's why you can get away with this. You gotta remember though, when you're playing power chords, like, it's just one. You're using your index finger really until you drop down to the D string. See how I use that and how I change the chord progression like that? It's not that hard. So you just have to remember that if you're going to play a bar chord, power chord basically, with the root on the E string, that basically when you drop down to your A string, so this basically is going to B, C, D, E, F sharp, G, and then back to A, right? So my point is that you can do this, you can get away with this. A little bit of helping you understand a little bit with alternate tunings. Now, with that being said, you're still going to be doing but here, once again, you got to remember that shape has changed, right? So shape on the D string and then just transpose it to the E string on top, right? Because if I didn't, it won't sound right. So, my hands are